whatever you get back from the world is an example based on what you gave to the world.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Get out the way! Get out the way! Get out the way! Yeah! Yeah! Get out the way! Get the fuck up out my way! Yeah! Yeah! You either with me or against me, ho! That boy is Benny.
What's up? My name is Keven Stirdivant, aka Kevion, aka Coach Kev. I'm the owner, founder of Case Real Estate and Project Mindset, and I am a real estate agent and life coach.
So when we started thinking about giving for our members this month and trying to define like what does giving mean to everyone, the first person that we thought of was you.
Oh man, that means a lot.
And really because, and I always say this because a lot of people do it for the camera, do it for the show, but before there was a camera, before there was social media, you were already doing it.
Yeah.
And what I really want to understand is like what inspired you and motivates you to give, and what is your definition of giving as a professional? Because I think a lot of young people struggle with that. They think they got to go to a homeless shelter,
Right,
and hand out food. And I always see when I see billionaires standing in a homeless shelter handing out food, I go, you know what? That is not the best use of your time.
right.
You could have such a bigger impact on society if you actually spent time with people that need the opportunity.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's something that I pride myself on, and I know that's a big part of your culture you created around yourself. So I'd love to hear like how you got into it and why you do it.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that means a lot. For me, I just feel like I got lucky to be given some of these gems at an early age, right? I didn't really come from money. Well, started off with money, you know, from my dad's profession, but when he went to prison, we immediately went from having everything to being on welfare and living in foreclosed homes, or getting lucky and having an aunt that we might be able to live with. Wow. In junior high, we lived with my aunt and her husband and their 5 daughters, and my grandma and my uncle, and my mom and my brother and my sister moved in 1 bedroom in a regular 4-bedroom home that they had in Glendora. So to kind of experience that and then receive these gifts without going to school, right? Like just learning how to set goals, learning the power of mindset, learning the power of affirmations, number 1, and then learning them and seeing how they actually change my life. To keep it to myself just felt crazy, because it was like, dude, like The Secret. And that went so crazy because it really appeared to be a secret to people, because the majority of people on earth, you know, 95%, they don't have clear goals. They don't believe in themselves. They got caught up in the lie, just like I did. I got caught up in the lie that I'm not worth anything. You know, I'm truly like, I'm worthless. I grew up feeling that way, and I put myself in situations that proved that I'm worthless. And until I uncovered that lie and started to develop tools to actually achieve things, I was stuck. I was totally stuck. And to see my life change so quickly from basically 17 to 18 years old, that was when it all shifted for me. It was right when I became a father too, my junior year of high school. And I just got these gems, I applied them, they worked. And immediately, I just wanted to find a group of people to share those things with. And the first 2 people were Richard Mulder, who's a pro skater friend of mine, still a really good friend of mine to this day, and sells real estate on our team. And then the second person was Jonas Bavacqua. And he just happened to live 2 streets behind where my mom lived. I was 17, he was maybe 19, 20, and he was just getting LRG off the ground, and he's like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a life coach. He was the first person, because he was doing LRG. And I had a sales job at this random company, but I was studying Napoleon Hill, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins. I had just did the Tony Robbins Firewalk. Wow. And I was like, my mind was blown. And so when I met him, and he had, you know, he was super cool, and he's, you know, he's like, oh, I got this clothing company, LRG. I was like, oh yeah, man, I'm a life coach. He's like, man, what's that? And I'm like, well, I help people get from where they're at to where they want to go. He's like, dude, I need that. And so I sat with Jonas and the crew for about 5 years straight, and I just poured into them, and the exchange was like gear. I got to have whatever gear I wanted,
Yeah.
but to see him take those gems and see the whole company take them and just have it go crazy, that showed me like, I need to get this stuff out on a loudspeaker even more.
Yeah.
So,
Because the thing about your way you think about things, we literally just had this conversation. This isn't about money.
no, I have zero financial goals for what I do with Project Mindset.
And
It's about impact.
got it. So how do you recommend? So there's a 25-year-old guy, he's working right now. Giving is not top of mind.
Yeah.
When I was 25, giving was not top of mind,
Right.
right? But I think it's like you need to incorporate that into your lifestyle at a young age,
Yeah.
so that you actually get to a point in life where it's it's just a part of your life,
Right.
not something that you feel like running is for you and I, which is part of our life. We
Yeah.
just do it. It's not, to me, it doesn't feel like a chore.
Right.
How do you get to that point?
I think it's an understanding that you get back what you give.
Yeah.
So more than like giving a homeless person $1 or donating to charity, it's the energy that you have. So, you know, I just believe that whatever you get back from the world is an example based on what you gave to the world. And so my process is just, if you're a barista at Starbucks, you want to know, and your intention is to give good energy. And here's what's important to know, you're giving either way. So if you're having a bad day and you're like, here's your coffee, you just gave him his coffee and a little bit of negative vibe.
Yeah.
Versus like, here's your coffee, you know, you're giving. I think the best way to give is to give unconditionally, number one, but also just by your energy. And
that's so simple.
that's simple. I mean, I'm in a business, my main career as a real estate agent, there's 80,000 other people in Southern California who do what I do.
So crazy.
And based on volume, I've reached the top 20. And I don't have the main things that my competitors have. I'm not with a big brand company. I've built my own brand, but my umbrella company is not one of the main in the luxury market. I don't have the education, I don't have the Rolodex, I'm not a part of the yacht whatever association.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just show up like, how can I help, how can I serve?
Yeah.
So I think the best way for kids or of anybody to know that they can give is by letting go of your own agenda. So like I have an affirmation, and my affirmation is, I let go of my own agenda. I focus on making a difference for others. That's my affirmation. I'm in the service business, so you know, when I'm not working or producing something, I'm not making any money.
Yeah.
So similar to, I mean, a hairstylist or anybody else that has to be on in order to produce, I'm constantly having to be of service to other people. And if I show up as like, take, then people are going to take from me.
Yeah.
So I simply put my mindset on, how can I help people, period. From opening the door for somebody to, I might meet some lady and she has no interest of selling, but she's going through something with her health. I recommend more people to my acupuncturist. I've recommended so many people to mine and my wife's therapist.
Yeah.
I've recommended so many books. I've helped so many random people take out the trash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever I could do to give and serve for the simple purpose of giving and serving.
Yeah.
Not like, I'm gonna go help this lady bring her trash in, hopefully she's down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, I just trust in the universe that if you pour out and you give, you're gonna get back.
So I'm gonna ask this last question selfishly. I've always been generous with my time, generous with helping people. And some days I get so frustrated, I'm just like, man, I'm putting out all this energy and sometimes you just don't feel like you've been rewarded. And I'm not looking, hey, I help you, you need to help me, but I expect the universe to pay me in certain ways. And then I get grounded and be like, I'm thankful for what I have, but you know, it's hard to explain that to your family, hard to explain to your friends when you keep putting out the energy and they're like, what the hell are you doing all this for?
Yeah, I know how that feels. Like, I grew my real estate team to 100 people in 18 months. We were the fastest growing real estate team in our brokerage's history. And about 2 years into that, I had multiple people start to do some really shady stuff to me, from trying to sue me for defamation of character to straight up stealing from me. And man, it really, really rocked me. But if anything, it made me ask myself the question of, so I know who I am, and who I am is somebody who is here to make a difference for other people. So the question I had to look at was, is that contingent on me getting something from them? And the answer is no. So when people started to not appreciate the work that I did, or even just straight up steal from me, I really had to look at, because I wanted to stop being that way. I wanted to stop pouring into people. I really had to look at, like, am I giving, am I serving to get something back? And the answer is like, no, man. So people could do whatever the hell they want to me. I'm gonna continue focused on uplifting other people. It did cause me to be a little bit more cautious over who I pour into. But for anybody that's truly sincere about wanting to improve and wanting to experience a higher level, I'm here to help.
That's amazing.
You know, so I know how that feels, and man, it rocked me for about a year straight. Throughout the majority of 2017, I wanted to fight like these 5 people.
No, because it's a constant conversation. I have my wife, and she's like, I see you pouring out all this energy. You're tired, you're stressed. Why the hell do you keep doing this? And I can't stop.
Well, I think it's important too that you make sure that you're filled up first, right? Because what I know to be true is that the better I am, and the fuller I am, the more I can serve other people. If I'm empty and I'm drained and I'm exhausted and I'm lacking sleep, I can't do what I'm really here to do. What I'm really here to do is to serve and make a difference. I can't do that if I haven't taken care of myself first. So my first hour to 90 minutes of the day is spent getting filled up mentally, physically, spiritually. I've been doing that for about 2.5 years straight. I have a practice. My wife lets me have that time, and I have to get up 2 hours before everybody else. But I think you do also, to be a great giver, I think you also have to be really selfish first, right? I truly believe that. I never said that out loud before, but it makes a lot of sense, right? Because if you really want to give, then you got to be hooked up yourself, mentally, spiritually, physically, or else you will be drained. If you think about a first grade teacher, she's making an impact. She's making a huge fucking difference. It's just to 25 5-year-olds. And you think about what a professional baseball player does, they make about a 3-minute difference to a huge amount of people. So I think, like, the difference in building a business, it comes down to serving people. Like, how well do you do that thing that you do, and how much are you actually doing that thing? And the quote's from Zig Ziglar. He says, you can have everything in life that you want if you just help enough other people get what they want.
That's amazing.
How do I bottle up